Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope if you're just waking up right now, I hope that God has blessed your slumber. Hope you had a wonderful evening, and I hope I pray that it's a wonderful day. I'm going to start off with just an experience I had probably about a month ago, and it really showed me the importance and the power of prayer. I would go to, I got my tea here, you guys see, gotta get it in, right? I went to the McDonald's that I usually go to in the morning to grab my tea, and there was a cashier there, and she would give me the worst attitude. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was my face. I don't know. I don't know what it is that offended her. I don't know if we had a bad interaction one time. I don't recall ever having one. But it bothered me so much that I prayed about it. And I prayed for God to, change the situation, but also to change me. I don't know if it was something, again, I don't know if it was something I did, but I prayed about it. And then a few weeks, after I prayed about it, went through the drive-through, and she was absolutely pleasant. Like, it was like night and day. Good morning, how are you? I had my girls with me one morning, and she was asking about them, and I don't know what changed. I don't know what happened, but I do know that God took the wheel. He took care of this. And it was all through the power of prayer. And I know a lot of us don't really understand the importance of prayer. We think it's just, us thanking God and then asking for a few things, from Him. But it connects us. Prayer does for us with God what your cell phone does for you in your everyday life. It connects you to what matters. And when you pray to God, you're praying to Him and talking to Him about everything that matters to you. And that is such an important and also delicate connection, because we're in an age, in a time, and probably always have been, where we just keep asking. We just keep looking to God and say, God, bless me with this. God, I'm struggling. I need you to give me this. Yeah, thanks, Father, but no, I also need this. So always keep in mind, whatever you're going through, pray, guys. Pray. The Our Father is the beginning. That's what Christ gave us in showing us how to pray. But you go beyond that. You can have full-blown conversations with God, and He'll completely understand where you're coming from and empathize with you. So I just want to share that nugget and remind you that it's important to pray. So I'm going to get into today's video. Today's day 3 of unforgiveness. This is going to be a 2-video day, because we're going to be discussing unforgiveness pertaining to relationships and personal ones. So I wanted to start off this morning by talking about unforgiveness when it comes to your exes. And immediately you're probably thinking about every ex that you don't like, that maybe doesn't like you, and the things that you did to them or they did to you for them to become your ex. And I wanted to later on today I'll be talking about unforgiveness within current relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, but I want to start off by talking about exes. It is absolutely comical to hear people talk about their ex, and the way they speak about their ex, it's almost like everything that happened in the relationship, and usually later on, was just completely out of the blue. Like, they just became lazy. They just became narcissistic, and made everything all about them. They just became these things that we become frustrated with later on. But when people say love is blind, it's a horrible turn of phrase to say, because it's not a bad thing that love is blind. God loves you, and He, even though He does see all your wrongs, it's blind to Him especially when he wants to bless you with what's yours. And it's blind to him when he wants to forgive you for what you've done wrong. Love being blind is exactly what it should be. The problem is we overlook the things that we should be paying attention to in the beginning of our relationships. We don't ask the right questions. We don't really question people on their intentions. We don't look at their behavior patterns and their character. We give excuses to them, and we say, well, you know what, when I met her, she never cooked, but you know what, I like McDonald's anyway. And later on, when the relationship matures and you realize that you've always loved food, right? I want to make sure I emphasize that you've always loved food. It becomes a problem, and now you call your ex lazy when he was comfortable with making 50 grand a year, and all his bills were paid and he had no issues. It becomes a problem later on when you want to have a family, when you want to progress in your life, when you want when you want to purchase a home, a new car. And now it's a problem because he's lazy, he's unmotivated, and it's often our own faults for not seeing these things or not accepting them for truly what they are, and therefore later on in a relationship trying to change are now their exes into becoming something that we want them to be. And it's not even for their betterment, right? It's for ours. So yes, I absolutely believe that we're the cause of a lot of the pain and heartache that comes from past relationships. And again, I said this was going to get intense, guys, but I also said this series requires a level of maturity that a lot of people don't have. And you have to be mature enough to see the forest from the trees and realize that it's not all on one person. It's not all on your ex as to why things turned out the way they did. It's not all on them as to why the relationship fell apart. So I wanted to touch on that and remind you that when you have unforgiveness towards an ex, it ties you into that relationship a lot longer than you should be, and it robs you of any joy of your future relationships. And you talk about, for example, when you start discussing a new relationship, instead of discussing the things that matter and how your relationship will progress and the things that you want to see occur in your relationship, all you do is talk about, well, my ex did this and I'm not with it. My ex, would always, my ex cheated on me, and if you're a cheater, then I can't deal with you. And that's unforgiveness is a seed, and what happens is it's planted in your heart, and then it starts to grow, and it produces bitterness, it produces anger, it produces hate. And 1 John 4:21 clearly says you cannot hate your brother and love God. I'm sorry, you can't do both. So it requires unforgiveness is something that we all have to eliminate really and truly to get connected and stay connected with God. And your prayers, although heard, because God just doesn't turn a deaf ear to them, they don't produce anything. They don't produce any kind of a sincere interaction with God, because you have that hate in your heart. So I would definitely say, before you reach out to an ex, pray about it, guys. If this is something that's in your heart, if you have bitterness and unforgiveness towards an ex, pray about it. And then in turn, when God speaks to you, and he will speak to you and provide you with the knowledge and wisdom of how to approach this, then absolutely get to that point of forgiveness. Whether it's having a conversation and discussing it with your ex as to how things turned out, or maybe just praying about it and really forgiving and letting it go. But as I said in the last video, pertaining to Joseph forgiving his brothers and sisters, unforgiveness and therefore forgiveness is difficult, guys. It is extremely difficult, and it requires all of you. You know, it's as much a spiritual as it is a mental and physical sacrifice. And that's exactly what it is. It's a sacrifice. You're giving up your unforgiveness for something more. And I promise you, and I guarantee you, God will give you so much more. So this video is a bit longer than it should have been, and I apologize for that, because I know we like to get the 3-minute videos and out of the way, but it's a real problem, and I've had it in my heart. I know family and friends that have it in theirs and have had it, and we need to again take back territory. We need to take back our souls. We need to take back our hearts, our minds. We need to take back all of the things that the devil's robbed us by using our unforgiveness against us. So guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this message really plants a seed within your heart to forgive all those exes, wherever they may be, for any pain and hurt that you feel or have felt throughout the course of your relationship. So guys, the sun is blinding me. I gotta head into work. I pray you have a wonderful day. Stay tuned. Later today, I'm going to be posting the second addition to today's series, which is unforgiveness in relationships. And we're going to talk about unforgiveness again in marriages and dating life and all of that, and really get a lot of people back on track in the relationships and get them to where God needs them to be, happy and prosperous. So guys, have a wonderful day. God bless, and I'll talk to you later.